Everybody, Brian Good here. Let me start with saying, my oh my, we got a lot to discuss. I got to hurry quickly here today. I do want to mention real quick, this is it for me this week. I will be back next week. I'll, of course, be updating social media when I can, obviously, with our little week systems passing through. Having said that, here is the snowboard. I'll talk about Thursday, Friday, Sunday. I'll cover that in a second. We'll talk about Groundhog Day and February 6th and 7th to an extent in a few moments. Let's get through today's system. We got a front moving in. So far, we've had this clear patch over us now. Look at the rain trying to break out across northwest sections of us at the moment. These renegade showers starting to fill in across Indiana. That trend will continue. It's way ahead of where the front is. The front is back here toward Missouri at the moment, where winds are starting to gust near 30 miles per hour. We'll see those winds pick up here when that front gets closer later on this afternoon, this evening especially. You can see the difference in temperature, 53 St. Louis, 38 in Springfield. So we will see that drop later tonight. But the rain, a majority of it, will be in advance of the front. Here's Futurecast showing the showers already begin to break out. That trend will continue through midday. Can't rule out some thunder, but I don't see it being a big issue there. Could see a break in that initial band in the actual front. If so, we may see another spike in the temperature there near 60. We'll see if that happens. Otherwise, the front will move in this evening, and then the colder air works its way in with any moisture around, falling as snow flurries toward sunrise. But in general, we're going to be above freezing tonight, so we're not expecting any problems. Plus, the ground is still warm. We need a few nights below freezing to get the ground temperature down. So initially, it's going to be warm, but it will get to colder levels later on. Now, tomorrow, it's iffy setup tomorrow. The temperature profile in the atmosphere is right there, all right, for a snowflake to be generated. I think overall, usually setups, with it being daytime especially, and marginal temps, we usually favor rain in our area, especially in the Louisville area, and then maybe a rain-snow mix in northern counties. But again, above freezing, not a big deal. We could see that go to flurries, by the way, Thursday night, early Friday morning. We'll watch that for a few slick spots. Friday itself, the colder atmosphere begins to work its way in. It's a colder profile on Friday, so there is a chance we could see a better chance for flakes to fly, but still above freezing. Same scenario, Friday night. Once we go below the freezing mark, got to watch it for a few slick spots. Saturday looks to be the break in the day at the moment, but then Sunday is when that main vort will drop in as we into the daylight hours. Now, because it is speeding up a bit and arriving during the day, it may mix a bit with rain and then go to snow and then end Sunday night. But here's the thing, with it being a daytime event, it also would mean mainly grassy accumulations. Too early to get specific on amounts, but if I had to throw out a number, I would say it's going to be less than an inch kind of a deal. But we'll see how it plays out. The timing when it arrives means a lot, not only for road impacts, but also snow amounts. Daytime snow events, light ones that are marginal, usually end up being very, very minor events here. All right, so when you look at the 500 millibar map here, this is from the GFS. This is for Friday. This is the United States right in here, and Kentucky's right here, by the way. Can you find where it is, the system for Sunday? It's right here in the Pacific Ocean, so it's not even fully sampled yet. So the models are still, I mean, they're in decent agreement, but they're not fully locked down the exact angle and the timing of it as it dives in from the north. So that's why we're going to exercise some caution here on the Sunday forecast, but at least you have a general idea of what's coming. Now, as we advance into Sunday, what you're looking for is an X on here. That's where you have a Vort max. And anytime you see an X on these maps, north of it is where your best lift is for precipitation to break out. Now, this is an X over Arkansas, but that's not the system on Saturday. Our system for Sunday is here. It doesn't have an X yet. It's still just a ripple, if you will, in the upper layers of the atmosphere, diving in at this point on Canada. And then as we head into Sunday afternoon and night, if you look carefully, I know it's small, you can see the Vort max is displayed now in northern areas of Mississippi. And again, north of that is where your best potential will be for lift and some snow showers, which would be generally in our area. But timing is everything there. All right, let's look at the ensembles real quick. Looking ahead past this Sunday system. GFS, Euro, and the Canadian. And here are the ensembles, which kind of are the general ideas all combined into one, if you will, of each type of model. This is going to be for Sunday. You can see they all generally agree. We got a trough, cold weather for the weekend. Next week, here's where we run into problems. This trough that keeps showing up here across the Pacific Northwest. This is near Groundhog Day. We've had the water temperature in the northern Pacific has been colder than normal this season. That then forces the jet stream to be stronger on the south side of it and blast the western United States with Pacific air and active storm track. Almost like an El Nino kind of setup. That is going to be the story this winter. How that has influenced our weather here, because that just sends Pacific air right into our neck of the woods. That will be the headline, and I think that's going to be the end result of the driving factor here. So that will continue to be a battle with the models. But at the same time, we're seeing some shifting with what we call the stratospheric warming. We're seeing the polar vortex begin to move around. It will try. It wants to come south, but it is going to have to battle what's happening here in the Eastern Pacific and the Pacific Northwest. How the two are going to interact, the models are just struggling with that setup. So we have to be patient on how this is going to turn out. Groundhog Day, GFS, let's look at the ensembles. You see a general troughiness here. Euro, though, is not as aggressive with it because it's not as aggressive really with the trough in this, or it is more aggressive, I should say, with the trough in the Northwest, and therefore has a warmer profile in our area for later next week. In fact, 50s and 60s showing up on the Euro if you look at it. And then as we get towards, say, the 6th of February, you see the differences starting to show up here. The Euro is still hanging on to that idea of that troughiness here in the Northwest, therefore it keeps us struggling with warmer. The other two, not as aggressive with it, and allows for the colder air to be more profiled. And by February 8th, you can see signs of the polar vortex on the GFS ensemble trying to drop into Canada and keeps our colder weather intact. The other hint at it, but not as aggressively. So I don't think it's a so deal yet how February is going to turn out. I will say when you look at the Rossby wave analysis, let me get past these couple maps here real quick because this is the GFS. I was going to show you guys the GFS maps about this scenario, but I'm running out of time. So I'll just talk about those another time. Come on, hurry up. Everything moves so on Wednesdays. All right, here's the Rossby waves for January. It shows the cool wave coming our way for the weekend. Purple line's the one I look at the most, and it's got the early February cool down. Notice it's got us near 80 by mid-February. We'll see if that ends up being right, but another sharp cold blast later in the month. So there's a lot of uncertainty, guys, but it does look very busy in February. That I can tell you.